they still come to me and they're like, you sharing that about whatever you went through, I experienced that. And I'm so grateful I got to recognize that and sort myself out, and become a better mom because of it.
So it's worth it.
Yeah, 100% worth it.
Welcome to Soul Food, a podcast that celebrates the flavors, stories, and journeys that shape us. In each episode, I sit with someone who's carving their own path in life. We talk about the flavors, the moments, and of course, the meals that shaped them. And I hope their stories can inspire you in unexpected ways. Today, I'm with Chef Divya Butani. So she was a teacher who's turned chef and now runs a cooking school and food consultancy business here in Hong Kong. Her food blog started small, but now she has over 140,000 followers on Instagram alone. And I'm sure they're all people who are interested in her veggie-forward approach to cooking. So welcome, Divya. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I'm really excited to learn about your journey because as I shared with you, this podcast is really about sharing people's unconventional journeys, where they started and where they are today. So maybe we'll start at the start.
Sure.
Could you share some of your earliest food memories with me?
Oh, wow. Definitely goes back to my childhood with having my mom's home cooked meals, my grandma's meals.
Yeah.
They both are amazing cooks. So that's why I never needed to learn how to cook myself because they both are—
You were spoiled.
Completely spoiled. And also remembering that my mom is vegetarian.
Yes.
And despite that, she still cooked meat for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she really elaborately cooked like crabs, lobster, pork chops, everything under the sun, whatever we wanted, right? So I just remember that, oh wow, like she doesn't eat it herself, but she cooks for us.
I feel like in so many ways, like love is food.
Yes.
And when parents do that for the children and they know they're cooking something, maybe they don't even want to touch themselves, but it's for the kids. So
exactly.
Yeah. Was there a particular dish that you loved growing up that she made for you?
Growing up, I was a meat eater.
Okay.
So I loved pork chops.
Yeah.
I loved Korean barbecue pork.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then when I turned vegetarian, it was much later on when I was at uni.
Okay.
So I have a totally different set of favorites now.
Yeah. What was the reason for you turning vegetarian, actually?
So it was a range of things, but mostly because the people that I ended up being really good friends with were vegetarian.
Okay.
So whenever we used to go out and we used to hang out, I felt a little bit disrespectful to just order one plate of meat for myself. And quite frankly, I liked their food better. You know, when you hang out with a lot of vegetarians, you realize that there's a whole different way of ordering food at a restaurant or different way of cooking. And it just opens your mind up to a lot more than what you know.
It's true. Because I think like people feel like vegetables are not that exciting and they're not that flavorful, where I actually think it's the contrary, because I'm also much more attracted to vegetables than meat, and my husband's the opposite. And so when we go out for dinner, it's kind of like, where do we go?
You need something that has both. Right?
Yeah.
I have the same issue with me and my husband as well.
Yeah.
Because he's a meat eater and I'm a vegan now.
Yeah.
And he's gluten-free recently.
So what does an average home meal look like?
So that's the thing. That's why my blog started, because we were a multi-diet home and there were not many sources to find, places to go online to find, okay, what can I make and adapt to different diets in the house?
Okay.
Especially when you have kids, you need it to be kid-friendly too.
And you need to get their nutritional, macros for the day in when you have children.
Exactly. And no one has time to make 4 different meals or 5 different meals for different people in the house.
Yeah.
So that's why I focus on creating like a framework to, okay, if you make one sauce, you can make it vegan.
Yep.
And then you can add the chicken or the protein, different types of protein, and it's kid friendly too. So it's clean. And why wouldn't anybody want clean in their home, right?
Yeah.
So it's made with fresh ingredients, wholesome ingredients, nutritious food, made from scratch. That's easy.
So that's how you started your blog, really out of necessity and feeding yourself, feeding your family. I know that you've talked about how before you started experimenting, you actually didn't know how to cook because you had this mom and this grandma who were amazing.
Amazing. Fed me very well.
Yes, exactly. And so I know you didn't start out as a chef.
No.
I think like a lot of people in Hong Kong, you started out in finance. Can you tell me a bit about that?
So actually, when I graduated with a media and sociology degree, and I wanted to go into global development and work for NGOs and all of that. When I came back to Hong Kong for a short while in between my my application for my master's, I was obviously typical Asian parents, like, don't come here and do nothing.
Yep.
Definitely get a job somewhere or an internship or whatever. Don't sit idle at home. So then I got an internship with a startup company with the ex-ED of Morgan Stanley. And then I was in private equity before I knew it. And so by the time I was about to leave, he offered me a job.
Okay.
And he's like, you're not going to learn what I'm going to teach you in your school.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you real life experience. And he did. And he mentored me and taught, like, my first meeting was with the head of Asia Pacific of a really big bank here. And I was like, wow, I was 21 years old. And I was like, this is amazing. So it exposed me to a lot of the business world. And then I ended up, really growing as a person in that job.
Yeah.
And then I went into different roles in business development after that. But I wasn't fulfilled. I was like, this is not really satisfying.
Right. And I mean, why? Because you're 21 years old, you're working in private equity, you're feeling, you're learning a lot, but you speak about not being fulfilled. And so how did you identify that feeling in yourself?
So my relationships, what I realized when you're in sales, it's based on, it's very transactional.
Yes.
And I'm not that type of person. Some people are amazing at compartmentalizing their relationships.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I'm quite like, you get what you see and there's no two ways about it. Right. So I felt most of my relationships with people were very transactional, and I really didn't like that because I wanted more of a fulfilling relationship, be it friendship or, whatever. So I realized, I want to be in a field of work where I really value my relationships with people.
Yeah.
And I bring something to the table more than just, gaining something from it.
So less transactional, I guess, more meaningful relationships. And I think that lines up with what you said when you were younger, a student, and you wanted to work for an NGO.
Exactly, right.
I feel like people who want to work for NGOs are quite mission-driven.
Yes, mission-driven. They have a big ideology. They want to pursue something greater than themselves. And that's really who I am. And it's taken me a long time to get there because some people are just born that way. They just have a very strong mission to fulfill. But like I said, Asian parents, this culture that you're not going to, make a lot of money doing something like that.
Right.
Where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
But then in the end, you try it out, it doesn't work out. And so you go a different way, whether it's early on in life or later on, you're going to end up doing what you want to do anyway. Right.
What was the point for you when you were like, okay, I think I've had a good go of this career in finance and I want to do something else? What was your thought process and what did you do?
So I started part-time tutoring because I was like, okay, let me just help a friend out, asked for a bit of help. He said that you have a real world experience, you can help these kids out. And, because you can't learn business and economics just from a textbook. You really need some examples. So I was like, sure, I can help you out. And after a few sessions, I was like, wow, I love this because there was, when you teach kids, especially like pre-university children, kids, students, right? Like, and they have that aha moment. It's brilliant. I love that. It's like, oh, I taught them something that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives, and that's what I clicked something in me. I was like, I really want to go into education. This is, my calling or something.
Yeah.
And
so
that's when
so
I started working in education part-time for a little while. Then I decided, okay, I want to go full-time. And then I was like, okay, let me take another, degree. I did my master's in education.
Yes.
And then I started training in schools. And then I got my jobs in international schools here. And then I was really climbing up that corporate teaching ladder.
Okay. And how old were you at this point when you'd switched into teaching?
I was in my mid-20s.
Mid-20s. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then early, like a little bit after 3 years in private equity and business development, I decided to go there. And then after that, COVID hit.
Oh, yeah. Exciting remote learning times.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So this was after, like in 2019,
Yep.
protests came, and then all of that happened. COVID hit, and I had a miscarriage.
Okay.
And it
Sorry
was
to
just,
hear that.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. But it was all at once,
Okay.
right? So that's really the pivotal moment of how this became a business, the Veggie Wifey, because I thought I had it sorted. Like
Yeah.
the trajectory, I was going to have a kid, I was going to stay in my job, everything was sorted.
Yeah, you had a plan.
I had a plan.
Yeah.
And I think if anything, you have to be adaptive. I think if anyone has learned anything through COVID, is you have to adapt and you have to, there's no plan.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's such a good message for everyone to remember, because the only thing that doesn't change is that everything changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Especially even after having kids, you have a birth plan. That never goes according to how you imagine it to go.
I know. My birth plan, it was just like out the window. You know, the moment I started labor, it was like completely the opposite of my birth plan. Yeah.
Stay calm. Nope. No one's staying calm.
Not at all. I was going for this natural, like no painkillers, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I was on the laughing gas a little bit, and then it just went so long. It was like over 24 hours, and I ended up in an emergency C-section, which was the furthest from my birth plan. I didn't know anything about C-sections because that wasn't even in my realm of possibility. I was just kind of like, it's going to be great. Everyone else I know has had a really great birth. And then I was there, and my husband at one point, he's like, I'm going down to the hospital church because I'm so stressed out for you. Like he didn't know what to do, like that sense of helplessness.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so what you're saying about being adaptive, and especially post-COVID, and so you're adapting from teaching, which obviously completely changed, no classrooms, no human interaction, and then you went into your blog. And so tell me about that time.
So luckily I had a side hustle, which was my blog. When I got married, I just was, making fun of myself. I don't know how to cook. I burnt this, I burnt that. Who burns dal? Who burns rice? I do. Look at this. This Indian wife that doesn't know how to cook. It was like shameful. But I like kind of made it a little bit more humorous. And slowly when I started learning, made successful dishes here and there, I started posting hacks.
Okay.
Like, hey, you can do this easier this way. And this is how I made this meat friendly and veg friendly. So that was going on. Didn't think too much about it. It was just kind of, a fun thing, a passion project. So it grew quite a bit without me really putting a lot of effort into it. And then so when few things changed with my career path, that's when I looked at this. I was like, hey, and that was when I think I saw a lot of people becoming content creators.
Okay.
That was this kind of
like during pandemic.
Yeah, during pandemic time.
2021-ish. Okay.
And a lot of food blogs were going a little bit viral, and people were now, I was learning more about how to monetize a blog from social media, from just your website. And so I got really interested in it,
Yeah. You talked about, people going viral. And I remember that time as well. Like people would literally wake up with 1 million new views overnight. Did you experience that, or was yours more of a slow burn kind of?
Mine was a slow burn.
Okay.
I was unfortunately not one of those.
Okay. Because I've heard, I've talked to some foodie influencers, and they're like, I just posted this thing, and then the next morning I woke up and I was just like shocked, like what happened in the internet when I was sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay.
That happened much later.
Okay.
After lots of trial, lots of error.
Yeah.
I went down actually food photography first.
Okay.
And I really was interested to make a website and make a really nice food blog because I loved writing my recipes. I loved writing about food. I loved educating people about food.
Yep.
And so I went down that path.
Okay.
And that really became something because I started selling my photographs to other companies, so they used to give me their products and I used to take a photo of them with like style it up and then I started selling my photographs. So that's where, okay, great. This is working out pretty well.
Yeah.
And then I started taking photographs of my own food, my recipes. And then I built my own website while I was breastfeeding.
Right. Okay.
Didn't know anything about how to make a website, so I went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then after that, the website went live. Photographs started, getting more attraction towards that. And then I started going down the social media path a little bit more later. That's when Reels came out.
Okay.
And that was another learning curve. Okay, how do you attract, people from the first 3 seconds of your videos?
Yeah.
That was a whole other learning curve.
Right. Yeah. Let's talk a bit about that, because I think a lot of people are interested in becoming content creators these days. Like, I saw some crazy statistic where a lot of high school students now aspire to be a content creator above most other professions. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about being there as this profession really was built, and what was your experience with that?
First of all, like that idea of being a content creator should always be something on the side before you figure out exactly what your niche is. It shouldn't be an all-in kind of career path.
Yeah, I think that is great advice.
Yeah,
that is great advice.
It should, because there's so many changes, and you can't just start off saying that this is how it's going to be, because you don't know how there's so many things that you're going to learn along the way as you grow, and that's something that takes a lot of time. So you need something to fall back on.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be
your thing.
Yeah. And I guess that's how I started too, because I always had something to fall back on if that didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
If content creation was just something I did for fun. And it's still quite difficult, especially in Hong Kong, to monetize from a food blog.
Right.
Right. It's not as progressive as like India, for example, right? And that's where a lot of people are making a lot of money doing food content creation. And in Hong Kong, it's more of reviews of restaurants and things like that.
Yeah, we see that a lot.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the path that a lot of other countries and cities have taken yet. It's still embryonic.
Okay.
I think so.
So hopefully you have first mover advantage in some way.
I hope so, especially even being a vegan food content creator, right? At that time. So yeah, it's been that's my advice, I would say, to other people that would want to go down that path.
I think so. I think that's good advice, because it also it's kind of like when you start content creation, and I've only started doing my own content creation as a founder of a company in the last 12 months, but it is like you have to feed the machine, and sometimes it's just like, I don't know what else to be saying. I don't know if everyone wants to see what I'm saying on this particular topic. There's a lot of self-doubt. Yeah, there's a lot of self-doubt. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of I want to say like hater comments. Even with ice cream, we get the occasional one, which is really surprising because it's very non-controversial. It's ice cream.
Yeah.
Most people have positive feelings associated with ice cream, but I found that people will say negative things. And so how do you deal
when you know
with
your
that?
content's going viral, by the way. When the haters come along and the trolls come, that's when you know, okay, I'm doing something good.
What are some of the things people have said to you, and how do you respond to that nowadays?
Oh, I've got so many. Because I was still navigating motherhood, being a new mom, while also content creating. So I also shared a lot of like postpartum stuff.
Yes.
Because I did want there to be a voice about how difficult it is to start your own business when you have kids.
Yes.
Especially really young kids, because they're still so dependent on you. And so I used to share stories about that, and wow, the messages I used to get from moms.
Oh no.
Right? Of, why are you sharing this?
Oh,
and
really?
Stop victimizing yourself.
Oh, dear.
Don't think you're better than us by doing this. So that really got to me at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I stopped sharing.
Okay.
I stopped sharing a lot of.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And then I realized that, well, if you want to share it, you have to have really thick skin and not care about what other people. I'm unfortunately not so much like that.
Okay.
That's why I keep now my content creation strictly about food and the education of food.
Okay.
And I'm a lot happier that way, because I have a whole private life that happens without anyone's consumption and opinions. Yeah. And I'm a lot happier that way.
That's priceless.
Yeah, that's priceless, right?
Priceless, yeah.
Like posting about kids and all of that. That's up to anyone's privacy and what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with that, especially if people are going to troll or comment.
Yeah.
So I'd rather split that up. And now I've decided to keep it completely strictly about my business.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to sort of protect what's important to you.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah. I mean, how has your idea of success evolved from when you started your blog to now, when you have, you have a successful social page, but you also have a business, as a, you said you started doing food photography, but now you do consulting and, a number of other food related and education related things.
Yeah.
Yeah. How has that evolved for you?
From starting off social media, I grew that following. And then that's how I realized that there's not necessarily with everyone, but if you know your niche, and I built such a great niche and a loyal following from years.
Yeah.
I realized that you can really convert that into something.
Okay.
Right. So that's when I started doing pop-ups or cooking classes here and there. I started partnering with companies. Then I got my first contract with a cookware company.
Okay.
One of the largest in the world for cookware manufacturing.
Yeah, amazing.
And that's when I realized, wow, this can, evolve into recipe development. So I started working with them. And then after that, I got offered to design a full catering menu for children, Hong Kong's first vegetarian catering menu for kids.
Oh, okay. For like schools or?
For just a public catering for a company.
Yeah.
And I truly loved doing that. So sitting there in the kitchen and teaching others how to convert how they would regularly use meat, eggs, dairy, or things like that, into vegan or vegetarian alternatelves.
Yeah.
And that, again, aha moment. Oh, I didn't realize how easy that was, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it was training kitchen staff, telling them what could cross-contaminate, telling them, this is how you should store this food and all of these things. And that's when I was like, I really want to pursue this now. Because again, once you're an educator, you not only teach students how to love to learn, you become a lifelong learner yourself.
Yes. 100%.
And so I was like, I want to go back to school and I want to go into culinary school and formalize my training into this.
Yeah.
So that's when I dived into culinary school.
Okay. So you went to school for teaching and then you taught and then you're going to culinary school. And so I guess this was another turning point for you.
Yeah.
Deciding to go into this food thing full time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And becoming a chef and really pursuing this.
So culinary school, where did you go?
Here in Hong Kong.
Here in Hong Kong.
Yeah. I had 2 kids under 2. There was no way I could go to the fancy schools around the world. This was not fancy, but I was with some really seasoned chefs.
Yep.
And they were incredible. And I learned so much from them. And the group of people that I was working with, studying with actually, were from all walks of life. So I made a lot of nice group of friends there, lifelong friends from there. But yeah, it's just, I think pursuing your passion, right? You're going to be good at it if you love what you do.
For sure. Yeah. I think like that's something that my family has always told me as well. It's like, I think me and my brother have had very unconventional careers. Like I've started an ice cream company. My brother became an actor after going to law school, and there was a lot of familial kind of, I won't say heartbreak, but it was like, why are you doing this? But I think after my parents thought about it and they came around to it, they're like, well, then you two better be the best, ice cream maker and actor, do the best you can in your field and make it work. So yeah, I think I like that sentiment, of just.
It's a big learning curve for them too.
Huge.
Because they were also brought up in a very different way as well.
Totally, yeah. I mean, like our parents' generation, I feel they're Singaporean at that time. Singapore had just become Singapore, it's split from Malaysia. People were just trying to survive. So to think about a career that you feel passionate about or that's something that you like.
They never had that liberty.
No way. It was like, what can put food on the table and
Absolutely.
what will survive,
Yeah.
And so for them to get their heads around what we are doing it was a huge mental leap. And so I do give them credit for that
Absolutely.
too.
Same here with my parents too. Immigrant parents. So
yes. Talk to me
like
about that. I mean, because when you sort of decided to jump into food and they probably said, well, okay, you already left finance to become a teacher and then now you're leaving teaching to become a food. I'm not sure what to call it. Yeah. What was their reaction?
Actually, my parents are very, very supportive. My dad says the same thing, right? As your parents in the end, they're like, if you choose to do something, do it well, 100%, don't half-ass it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what the kind of mentality that I was raised with.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and because we're coming from a home. I come from a home with 2 other girls.
Okay.
So my father never treated us like boys.
Yeah.
And girls, like he treated us like boys.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Right. He
Yeah.
raised us as if we were as equal as them.
Yeah.
And in Indian culture, normally when you have girls, you kind of princess them up a little bit. It's okay. They kind of just let them do whatever they want. But my dad was like, no, pursue something, do something with your life, achieve whatever you want, you know, and I'm going to be here supporting you 100%.
Yeah.
So that's what I really appreciate. My upbringing was he toughened us up a lot.
Yeah. You've now taught a lot of people a lot of different things about food. You've had so much interaction, I think, with different types of people through your cooking school and through your consultancy. What's something that you've learned about how the way people feel about food, and does the way people feel about a particular food influence what you create?
I take a lot of my inspiration from the home that I come from, because I come from a big family of foodies, right? And my husband also, he has certain tastes that I really get curious to know about. It's like, why do you like this dish better than that? What is it about it? You know? And my kids also, as they're growing up, they have different tastes and they're exploring a lot more things too. So it comes from that whole aspect of very like, different flavors, and we've grown up with a very multicultural background as well. I would like to say well traveled. So we have family from all around the world, and so I love fusion food, blending flavors together and combining it to palette that's multi-diet. You know, you can make this gluten-free, you can make this nut-free, you can make this high protein but vegan. And that I think I feel nowadays people are testing or testing themselves more for food allergies. They're more self-aware of their diet, their health. They're more conscious. And so as people are now going down that path, what I do, I feel is really relevant in this field, and the way food, nutrition, and eating is progressing.
Yeah. And is it hard in, in a place like Hong Kong? I haven't lived here. I've been here a lot. I work here. But in places like Singapore, when veganism started to become a thing around, I would say, maybe 8 to 10 years ago, it was very like foreign, and it was very much like, especially the Chinese restaurants, they just couldn't get their heads around it. I remember going out for dinner with a vegan friend, and we're like, in the stir-fried vegetables, we can't have any meat. And then it came out with little bits of like pork.
They just pick it out.
And then they were like, no, but it doesn't count. It's not a whole thing. It's just like little bits of flavor. And she's like, oh, it's like not, okay. Did you face those similar challenges?
100%. When I turned vegetarian at uni, I came back here and I was like, okay, trying to explain in the broken Cantonese that I can speak. I still can speak a little.
Okay.
I'm not going to discount that. Conversational. But they didn't understand. They were, again, it's very difficult for them to comprehend what vegetarian is. And yet alone now it's just become a concept, veganism, for them to understand. Oh, no butter. Oh, no milk. Oh, no eggs.
Right.
Even with my family, that's extreme. They're like, okay, can you kind of relax?
Yes.
But the truth is, I started feeling very uncomfortable having dairy.
Okay.
After giving birth, right?
Okay.
Postpartum, your whole body changes.
Yes.
And you don't realize until you kind of get out of that rut. You're like, oh, okay, something's going on with myself. I need to test myself.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, maybe one of your next questions. Am I leaning towards?
It's a good segue into that. I mean, you talked a few times about, your experience of starting a business, and you just had a baby and you're going through a lot, and you've shared previously about, postpartum depression and things like that. And how did that experience actually change the way you worked and maybe shaped your creativity?
Wow.
I mean, that's a big question.
That's a very big question.
Break it down a little bit.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But it's a constant juggle.
Yeah.
You're never gonna, if you're focusing on your work, you're gonna definitely not be present with your kids. And when you're present with your kids, you're going to not focus on your work. And it's just this period where my kids are very young and they're very, very attached to me.
Yep.
So, I mean, I love that, right? Touch wood. I don't know how long that's going to last for, but I have to constantly remind myself that this is the period where I should cherish and value the most. But at the same time, my business is kicking off. And if I don't put enough effort into it, somebody else might come along and take away that opportunity that I have, right? So it's constantly, I mean, I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
And I'm sure you probably feel the same way too with 2 young kids as well.
I do.
Right?
I do. I think yes, I've got 2 young kids as well. And, I started my business before I had kids.
Right.
And so it has pretty drastically changed, I would say, since, I've had children now. Because before you have kids, it's kind of like I could just pour all my energy into the business.
And no one will say anything.
Yeah, all my time is mine.
Yes.
And I think the biggest change for me was like your time is not yours anymore. It's shared.
100%.
And actually you become, for better or worse, for me, I was quite a low priority on my own list. And everything else is a higher priority. It's work, it's family, it's children, it's husband, and then it's me kind of down the bottom. And like I said, it's for better or worse. And it's not necessarily a good thing, but that's how I operated for quite a long time after I had children too. And I think it's true what you said. And often people are like, oh, how do you do so much? And how do you do it all? And I'm like, I totally don't do it all.
I neither, yeah.
When I'm doing A, I'm not doing B,
Absolutely.
C, D, E.
Yeah.
When I'm doing B, I'm not doing A. So it's like what you said, when I'm with my children, I'm not working. And when I'm working, I'm not with my children. And for me, the work I do, I think like you, has to be mission driven enough because it needs to be worth me not being there for them.
I totally agree with that. And that's exactly why I left teaching, because I got that question right in my face. Is this worth doing? Because it was a choice I had to make at that moment, right? Is it because I felt that I was replaceable at work, but I'm not replaceable at home.
In your own,
So then I was like, I'd rather pursue something that's exactly what you said, worth leaving my home for, right?
Okay. And if we could just backtrack a little bit also about the postpartum depression part, and you can share as much or as little as you want. But just for people listening out there, I think it's really important that people know how to identify it, because I think a lot of women who have children, it's supposed to be really happy, and even nowadays there's a lot more noise about it, but still people don't know quite what it is, and it seems a little bit taboo to talk about. So if you were to advise someone who's just had a baby and they're maybe not feeling themselves, what advice would you give them, or what signs would you tell them to look for?
Take it one step at a time. Some people have different stages of depression. And the fact that you're even questioning could this be it? You're already being very self-aware. And that's the best step forward, because then you're taking action on it, right? Identifying the problem. And then the next step is to do something about it. And for me, if I can only talk from my example, right? I didn't sort it out the first time. First pregnancy, I definitely had a whole whirlwind of mental situations going on that I never addressed. And then 18 months later, I had my second child.
Yeah.
And that's when it came falling down like a ton of bricks, right?
Yeah.
And it does compound. And if you don't address the problem at the very beginning, it gets worse. And then you don't want it to go to a point where you're like so far from resolving it.
Yes.
Because it can affect your family life significantly.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And even if you have kids later or choose to have more children down the line, it can get definitely compound.
Yeah.
So I realized that who I was becoming was far from who I was.
Okay.
And so I took that step to see somebody and to talk about it. And it's sometimes easier to talk about it to someone that has no relationship with you than your own family.
Yeah.
And it's difficult sometimes for people to do that, because especially from my culture, everything's hush hush. Don't complain, especially for women. Don't complain. Just go with it. Keep quiet. Don't say anything. Sit there, look pretty, smile.
And be grateful.
Be grateful
for that wonderful family. Yeah.
That's what, especially in my mom's generation, was told to do. And I, being the second child, kind of was like, why? Why is this the case? And my older sister has a little bit of that same mentality, because it's being the first child, the trophy child, representation of the family. Be respectful. You are the face of this family.
It's so true. Yeah, I'm the first child, so I get that.
Do you feel that too?
Yeah. And you're the first one sort of forging the way for your sibling. I only have one sibling, but still, he even till today, he says, well, my life was easier because you just had to do everything first, and then I just had to follow in the footsteps. So.
It's true. And I give so much credit to her, because she got, it really tough, really tough. And I have the liberty, and my younger sister even more so, to kind of just, not go with the status quo, question everything, and be the loud voice and be like, why? So when I started sharing stuff about postpartum, a lot of my mom's friends started saying, why is she talking about this so much?
Yeah. Is she okay?
Is she okay?
Yeah.
And then my mom, obviously being very forward thinking, used to kind of give them back, but also come to me like, you don't need to share that much. You don't need to talk about it too much.
Okay. Do you agree with that today? Or
you know what? I touched a lot of people that I don't even know. And I am so grateful, because they still come to me and they're like, you sharing that about whatever you went through, I experienced that. And I'm so grateful I got to recognize that and sort myself out, and become a better mom because of it.
So it's worth it.
Yeah, 100% worth it. If I can help one person, because this is a very unspoken situation that a lot of women go through. It's a very
delicate topic.
And so, of course, I value each and every word I say about it.
Yeah.
Right?
What part of your journey, you've done a lot. You've been through multiple different types of careers, and you've been, in your career and as a mother as well. What part of the journey would you say you're most proud of?
Oh, wow.
A big question for you.
Every time I do something, I do it with a full heart. I don't half-ass it.
Thanks, Dad.
I sometimes don't appreciate how far it's taken to come to this stage, to open up my own vegan cooking school, and to have people that would actually pay to come learn something. Sometimes it's hard to realize that.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
Because you didn't know how to cook, not that many years ago.
Exactly. So I never take it for granted. I appreciate, and that's why I get really nervous before every class, because I'm like, you got to do your best. You got to make this perfect. But I think I value every time I meet students who come to my class or attendees. They're not really students. Some of them are a lot older than I am, but I call them students either way. But I'm so grateful every time they come and I get to teach them something they don't know, and they leave with like the biggest smile on their face. They're like, I'm going to make this for my family.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to teach, actually? Do you have a favorite dish that you like teaching people?
I love teaching at all sorts of food. Actually, I don't have one particular. I can just, maybe the recent class that I had was a vegan Thai curry that I made.
Tell me about that. Like, just tell, what do you do? A vegan Thai curry.
Yeah, because even when I went to Thailand, they don't master the whole flavor, the balance of flavor when it's vegan, right? There's no
fish sauce,
shrimp paste. There's no fish sauce. There's no, and you can't overpower it with sugar and soya sauce.
Yes,
and that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah. So what do you do then?
So the secret is pineapple juice.
I love pineapple, actually.
And that balances out beautifully.
Okay,
and I don't use soy sauce. I use coconut aminos.
Okay, yes. That has a bit of a sweetness to it too.
Yeah. And when you add a little bit more natural spice, like the chilies into it.
Okay.
And sometimes soy sauce can be really overpowering too. So it's too salty when they make it vegetarian.
Okay.
So it's just that perfect balance of flavor that I create. And I taught it to them. We made the paste from scratch. And I showed them how easy it was to make a paste from scratch. You don't have to sit there for like 30 minutes pounding everything together.
Yeah.
And it was with no sugar.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because it's
So you
all
get the
coconut
pineapple.
aminos, the pineapple, right? And that's when I loved teaching them. They came back, they were like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't
Yeah.
even know you could make a gluten-free, vegan, sugar-free Thai green curry.
I'd like to taste that. Next time I'm in town, maybe I'll
Yeah,
sign
absolutely.
up.
I'll make it for you.
And I think I like what you said about the pastes as well, because I used to be very afraid to make my own pastes for curries and for, you know, a lot of Indonesian dishes. My husband's Indonesian.
Oh, okay.
Sadly, his mom passed away last year, and she used to make all these pastes for me for like.
I hope you have some sort of recipe book.
We do.
That's amazing.
She really kindly wrote out a lot of recipes before she passed, and so I have this book which we will treasure forever because it's just the last kind of her recipes.
Yeah.
And before she passed, she always made the paste for me and she put them in a bag and I would just cook and it was easy.
That's beautiful.
And then this year I've had to figure it out how to do it myself. So I figured out how to go and buy them at the market. I figured out how to process them and I was like, it's actually not hard at all.
Right?
It's not hard at all. You just chop them and it seems like a lot of a more big deal than it really is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the flavor is just like so much better than what you get from a packet.
Yes. When you make anything fresh with quality ingredients, it doesn't have to be expensive, but just good quality ingredients, it's a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I tell everyone all the time. You know, it's just look at your produce and look what you're mixing it with and look at, you know, the sauces that you get and read the back of the label and see everything that you're having with this sauce that it says it's one ingredient, but it's actually 10 ingredients.
Yes. Very, very long list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like, you know, a lot of people who listen because they want to figure out how to turn their passions into something that's a viable career.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to give someone advice as to how to turn their passion into a livelihood, what would you want them to know?
I would want them to know that it's going to be a long journey and it's not always profitable at the beginning.
Okay.
And you have to definitely know your niche. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of trial and error. And even when you reach a certain point that, let's say you have a one-hit wonder, you do really well at one project. The next project is maybe not going to be as good. So don't beat yourself up about it. Just keep going.
Okay.
And, you know, hard work definitely pays off. So remember to definitely focus on your craft, always focus on your craft and be the best at what you do or try your best in what you do.
Okay.
And keep going. And then definitely I feel like you'll reap the rewards a lot at the end for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because you talk about it maybe not being, you know, profitable at the start. And I think that's true for a lot of, you know, business ventures or when you go out on your own and do something freelance even, the first few projects might not really work out, might not bring you enough, you know, income to sustain you. For you, like at what kind of point did you give you a time limit? Like, you know, if I can't make it by X time, you know, I won't do this. For you, what was that?
Financial freedom is very important for me.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the way I was brought up. I've been working since I got my first job when I was 14. I was making my own money, like part-time tutoring also. And then when I was at uni, I was also working, teaching autistic children with the school that my university was partnering with. And that's when I realized that, you know, you have to have, no matter if you get married or even after you have kids, you feel like, wow, this is really something that stopped me from gaining some financial freedom or going back to being in that area where I could gain some sort of financial security. So you're quite vulnerable in that stage, right? So, I realized that, you know, doing something like this does take a lot of time. Yeah. Going back to your question, it's probably best to take it slow and at the beginning, it may not be so profitable and you have to have that someone to fall back on, especially if you're married. And luckily my husband was really supportive.
Yeah.
And, but there was a time limit, definitely. After my second child, I realized that if this doesn't become something, I would have to go back to work at a school or find another job, you know. But luckily, it kind of took off.
Yeah.
I really focused on my niche.
Yes.
I didn't deviate because it's easy to deviate and be like, oh, that's trending. I'm going to go here. And that's doing really well. Or someone, look at that person. It's easy to deviate. But no, I stuck to it and it's benefiting now.
I think that really does pay off because you've got to stand for something. And I think when you do start to follow this trend or that trend, you'll get a lot of views, but you won't get a lot of community that will follow you through and enable you to make a business out of it in the end.
Absolutely.
Right?
You can have I always tell this to people starting off social media, and I'm sure you can also vouch for this too, is that you can have an extremely large following, but not necessarily customers.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And what are you aiming for? Are you aiming for getting hundreds and thousands and millions of followers? Or are you focused on getting that market, the following that actually can come to and purchase your product or come to my classes or be there when I have a pop-up, right?
Yeah.
So it's the conversion rate that matters more, the engagement, people who really listen to you, trust you. Because it takes years to build that trust and just seconds to lose it.
It's true. Yeah. And you've said numerous times that this is a long game. It takes years.
Yeah.
You put a lot of time into what you're doing. And I think it's interesting because I talk to different people and some people say just, if you think you're going to do something, jump into it, head first and give your all.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people say, no, start slowly and make sure that you're a bit secure before you go all in. And I feel like that was kind of your take. And I think for me as well, like starting out, I was working full time as well when I started my business on the side.
Right.
And I only quit my job 6 months after the business started because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just a thing that I thought was fun and maybe could make a few dollars. I wanted to make sure that, yes, I can do this for the long term and yes, it can sustain me for the long term.
So that's good. Yeah, it takes a while to get there. I mean, no doubt, if you have an idea, go for it. Trial and error is only how you're going to learn, right? You have to put yourself out there. Okay, it doesn't work out. Okay, let's pivot, let's learn, and then do it again. But then you have to keep going and you have to realize, okay, what is the aim of doing this? Why am I doing this? What is it for? You have to have that.
And what are you looking forward to now?
I'm looking forward to growing my vegan cooking school, meeting more people from around the world because we also have online classes.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I've got recently some amazing inquiries of people coming in to Hong Kong for holiday, and they're like, can we do a private cooking class together? I'd love to learn about vegan Chinese food.
Where is your school and how do people find you and how do they sign up for classes if
online on my website? Okay. They can inquire from there and then they can see what upcoming classes I have.
Right. So you have a schedule that's published there. Yeah. Yep. Do you do kid focused classes?
I'm trying to do that as well.
Yeah.
Go into camps. Trying to do one for Christmas, hopefully. Again, trying to juggle. Kids were off this whole midterm break. That threw a lot of things off schedule. And so again, another holiday coming up, so I have to really work around their schedule as well.
Right.
To make sure that it doesn't affect my planning. So it's an ongoing process.
Well, I think it's so lovely how you've managed to combine now the education aspect also with the food aspect in this cooking school that you have.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm really excited about.
Yeah. Well, all I have for you now are some questions that I ask everyone who's on this podcast. So starting with, what was your first ice cream memory?
I loved eating strawberry Haagen-Dazs ice cream growing up.
Yep.
That was my favorite.
That's
strawberry
good. That
anything.
is good. Yeah.
Strawberry anything, right? Strawberry ice cream was my definite favorite.
Okay. Is it still your favorite? Do you have sorbet now instead?
No, I'm actually not a very huge ice cream person.
Yeah.
I'll have it with dessert.
Okay.
If I make it myself, a vegan one.
Yes.
Now that it's very difficult to find vegan ice cream.
Yeah.
But my kids, they are huge ice cream fans.
Okay.
So yeah, my husband as well, huge ice cream fan.
Yeah. Well, my husband is lactose intolerant, so half of our range is actually vegan.
Yeah, I saw that, which I loved. I saw that at City
people
Super.
Like you.
Actually, you know what? I was at City Super and I saw your products.
Okay.
And I got really intrigued. I was like, this looks really interesting.
Yeah.
And then you contacted, I think I followed you or something, and then we contacted each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's the one that created this.
Making these vegan ice creams first for husband. And then
it was amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
I loved your product. Yeah, it was really good.
Awesome. And what's your go-to favorite snack?
Oh, chocolate.
Chocolate?
Anything chocolate.
Yeah. Are you a dark chocolate?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Love dark chocolate.
Are you a fan of the Dubai chocolate that's been taking over the world?
You know what?
And I know you just came back from Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to try it because it's not vegan.
Oh, yes.
But I also, the little bit that I have tried just to understand what the hype is about.
Yeah.
It's too sweet.
It is very sweet.
It's extremely sweet.
Yeah.
So I actually, the vegan mooncake class that I did had vegan Dubai chocolate filling in it.
Okay.
And I made my own pistachio filling with the fair trade chocolate that we had. And that was really good.
Okay.
So I guess
your version of it.
My
Your version of it. Do you lick or bite your ice cream when you're having it?
Lick.
Lick?
Yes.
Okay. People are very definitive about this. It's so funny. Tell me about one trait you have without which you wouldn't be where you are today.
Wow. I don't know. I'm not much of a promoting person, which is not very good when you have your own business.
Think about it as self-reflective, maybe.
One trait that has helped me.
Yeah.
I guess it's the fact that I'm very honest and authentic.
Okay.
I think that is. And my relationships, they mean something. When I say something, I stick to my word. I'm a woman of my word.
Okay.
And I guess that's what I think a lot of people come to me and they say, I really appreciate you always being there.
Yeah.
And when you say something, you do it.
Oh, amazing. What's something that you used to believe about yourself that you've since outgrown?
Okay. I was maybe quite impulsive.
Okay.
Very quick to react. But I guess it was just me being very emotional. I'm quite a sensitive and emotional person.
Okay.
So I guess that's a strength and a weakness because my emotion comes through in my work, and I'm very passionate about my work and anything that I choose to follow through. But I guess that came across as more impulsive, aggressive.
I see.
Before, but I don't believe that anymore. I think it can be channeled in a very positive way.
Okay. What's one thing you think everyone should eat in their lifetime and why?
Oh, your ice cream.
Oh, well, thank you. I promise I didn't pay anyone to say that.
Once in their life?
Yeah.
My mom's Cindy curry.
What's special about it?
It's so I'm Cindy. And we're a community that kind of moved away during the war, the partition of India and Pakistan. So you'll find Sindhis all around the world. And Sindhis, we have a very distinct food items, like meals that we have, right? We have our own traditional meals. And I definitely like the food that my mom makes, our Sindhi food, is definitely can't beat anything. I can create anything in the world, but nothing beats your mom's food.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And so I hope to also make my kids learn how to eat it by making it for them.
What kind of ingredients go into that for people who haven't
So
tried
it's actually traditionally vegan.
Oh, okay.
It's a curry made from roasted chickpea flour.
Okay.
And you roast it to the point where it becomes extremely fragrant.
Yep.
And then you add fresh tomatoes, pureed tomatoes to it.
Yeah.
And mustard seeds and curry leaves. It's not very many ingredients, but again, that balance of flavor. And then you add any veggies that you want. We normally put potatoes and carrots in it.
Okay.
And that's how we make it with a few other spices.
Yeah.
And we have that with rice, basmati rice.
Yeah.
And it's very simple comfort food.
Yeah, and it sounds quite creamy because of the chickpea
It's quite
base.
watery. We water it down with
so you
water.
water it down after that. Yep.
Yeah, so it's a very thin consistency.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the flavor.
Yeah.
That no one would think, oh, roasted chickpea flour with tomato? Like, what is that? But when you put all of it together with the spices and the acidity from the tomatoes come with the creaminess of the chickpea flour.
Yeah.
That's what creates it to be really yummy.
Okay, I'm going to look this up after.
Yeah.
And what's a piece of advice that changed your life?
There's been so many, but I think it's more of, I think, not piece of advice, but having a really strong support system.
Yeah. Okay.
My husband, he, like, no matter what comes my way, he's my biggest supporter.
Oh.
And I'm so grateful for him because sometimes like I said, postpartum, you really think low of yourself sometimes, and your body changes, you look different, you feel different. And, having someone like rock solid in front of you and say that you can do this, you still got it in you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Definitely. So, not piece of advice, but someone to have by your side is nothing can beat that.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, that's actually beautiful that's your husband as well. So, yeah. Divya, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you so much for having me. I had a lovely conversation with you.
Loved hearing about all your food and all your experiences. And I look forward to tasting your mum's Cindy curry one day, hopefully.
Maybe I'll bring it for you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. If you enjoyed listening to Soul Food, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe, or share an episode with your friends. It helps us grow so we can continue bringing you thoughtful conversations. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today.